Hello and thank you for watching Kaluna Creations. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a conditioning cap, like this one. Now if you're like me and you've battered your hair with various bleaches and dyes over the years, or if you've got naturally curly hair, or if you, like my daughter, have very long curly hair, it's very frizz prone, conditioning caps are amazing. So basically all you do is wash your hair and then you put in your deep conditioner, you pop on one of these bad boys, and what it does is keep your head lovely and warm, and it means all that conditioner gets soaked in by your hair. And if you leave that on for 20 minutes, half an hour, then when you wash it out, oh, your hair is so lovely and soft and silky. It's amazing, believe me. So if you are a complete beginner to sewing, I have done you a separate video if you want to follow this link up here. That'll just talk you through what equipment that you're going to be needing. If you are watching on a phone though, I believe that link doesn't work, in which case if you look at the playlist how to make funky fabric items, it's in there. It's just called what equipment will I need, alright. Now the only extra thing that you're going to need to those is some elastic just to feed through the bottom, just to make it nice and stretchy, alright. Aside from that, that's all you're going to need. So if you want to keep watching, I'll let you know what fabric measurements you'll be needing. Okay, so for this one it is relatively straightforward in the fact that you only need 2 pieces of fabric. But depending on the size of your head and depending on the thickness and length of your hair will depend on how big you're going to need it. So let's say you've got a very small head and very thin hair. The diameter of the circle that you're going to be wanting will be around about 46 centimeters. Now let's say you've got a really big head and you've got really thick long hair. You are going to be wanting a diameter that's more like 60 centimeters. Now the cap that I'm going to be making today is for my daughter, so she's got a relatively small head, but she does have very thick, very long hair. And so the hat that I'm going to be making for her today is 54 centimeters diameter. And I have chosen a lovely Kaluna butterfly outer. So this is my exhibition stand actually that I have cut up to make random bits and bobs. And also an exactly the same diameter of fleece. Now I've just used an old blanket here. It was our cat's blanket. I have washed it, don't worry. But yes, she doesn't use it anymore, so that is going to be the inside of my daughter's cap. So if you're not quite sure how to cut a circle, I'm just going to talk you through that now, alright? So let's pretend that this is still a square and it's not a circle yet. What you want to do is fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. And what you'd end up with is a square that looks like that. Okay? Then if you get your measuring tape and simply mark on there the halfway point. So whatever you've gone for your diameter, so in my case I've got 54, I want to be aiming for 27. So I put a mark there and then move it along, keeping the tape at the centre mark. Put another mark here, mark here, mark here, mark here, and again, finally mark there. And then you can join up those marks to make your circle. And then simply cut along all 4 pieces of fabric at the same time to make your circle. Now because I'm using old exhibition fabric, it is quite thick and I found using scissors was the easiest. But if you've got a bit thinner fabric, or with the fleece, I just use the roller cutter instead. So you could just literally go around the edge and cut off that corner of the fabric. So the length of the elastic that you'll be needing has a lot to do with your individual head size. So to measure this, what you need to do is get yourself a fabric tape, put it around your head, and then measure off like that. So my head is 60 centimeters in diameter, perimeter. So because I've got 60 centimeters for my head, normally you would say for elastic you'd want 2/3 of that. Now I think if you go for 2/3, you may end up finding that it's a little bit too tight, because we've got quite a lot of gathering going on. You don't want it to be uncomfortable. So what I would say is just knock off probably about 15 rather than 20. So I will be going for 45 for my elastic length if I was doing this for my head. Now this cap is actually for my daughter, and I've already measured hers, and hers was 50. So for hers, I will be going for around about 40, just so that it's not too tight for her. All right. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is grab your fleece and lay it out. I'm afraid it's not all going to fit in the picture. Hopefully you'll get the good gist though. So lay that down, grab your outer fabric and place it facing down onto your fleece. So the pattern is on this side, like that, and just line it up, like that. And what we're going to do is literally sew all the way around the edge of the circle, leaving a gap about that large so that we can still pop our hand in and pull it the right way out. So you're only wanting to go a presser foot width, so about 5 millimeters from the edge of the fabric, just to join the two pieces of fabric together. Remembering to go forwards, backwards at the start and forwards, backwards at the end, just to reinforce it for when we're pulling it out. Okay, so we've put our seam in all the way along the edge now, joining the two pieces of fabric together. But we left our nice hole at the top here. So what we're going to do is just put your hand in, grab the other side and pull it out so that it's all the right way. Now this still seems pretty huge at the moment, doesn't it? But don't worry, we still need it to be this large. So you can either press this flat, or if your fabric doesn't really like behaving like mine doesn't, what you can do is just push your finger along the edge to push it out and literally just clip it. So go all the way around the edge, pushing it out and just pinching it or pinning it down like that. And what you want to do is put a seam in once you've clipped all the way around. Put your seam in about 3 centimeters in, going all the way around the edge, like that. And what you want to do is go all the way around until you meet your start point again. Okay, there's no need to go forwards, backwards on this one. It's just start sewing, and when you get to the end, just bring your needle out and leave your dangly threads. We'll deal with those threads in a moment. Now we're ignoring this hole at the moment We are going to sew that shut later, but what we want to do is keep this open because this is how we're going to feed our elastic through. So at the moment, ignore this hole, just put in that nice long stitch all the way along now. And there we have it. Our line of stitching going all the way around, 3 centimeters in from the edge. Now our start and finish point threads are here, as you can see. So what we're going to do is just pull them both through to this side by just creating a loop by tugging the one thread and hooking your needle through and pulling. Do that to both your start and your finish threads. And then once you got that through, and that one's not playing ball. Oh, it's got all tangled on the back. Let's pull that back. There we go. That should work now. Said with confidence. Okay. So what you want to do is just knot these and then trim them off, and then we're ready for the next stage. So now we need to thread our elastic through our pocket that we've made. So I'm going to be doing this using an ordinary tapestry needle, but I've seen people using a like a safety pin before now. That's really good too. If you are using a tapestry needle though, what I would recommend is you just grab a clip and clip it so that it doesn't try and unravel itself like that. That way, as you're tugging, there's no fear of you accidentally pinging it off. And the other thing I'd recommend you do is the loose end, clip that onto the start of your hole as well, like so. Again, that just stops it accidentally sneaking in there and undoing all your hard work. All right. So now we've done all our safety bits, all we want to do is thread it through. So just feed it along. If you are using a needle, try and remember to point it towards your outer fabric, not the fleece. Otherwise you do end up accidentally trying to thread it through the fleece. So I'm just going to speed this up now so that you don't have to watch me doing the whole thing. And there we go. So now we've fed that through, just grab your first piece of elastic. It's probably worth you just pinching that so that it doesn't ping back in at all, like that. And then if you grab your starter elastic as well, just give that a tug so it gives you a bit more to play with, and then pinch that as well, like that. So now we've got our 2 dangly bits of elastic. Now you can either hand sew this or you can do it on the machine. But literally just put one on top of the other and sew along that bit there just to join them both. All right. So I'm just going to do that on mine and then I'll bring it back. So I've sewn those 2 bits of elastic together now. Now all we want to do, we can unclip these now, because we don't need to worry about that anything bad happening now. Now before it all starts pulling itself back, what we want to do is fold over this gap that we created earlier so that we could feed our fabric through. And we want to sew that shut. Now you can either do this via hand sewing, or you can go onto your machine and literally just sew as close to the edge as you physically can. Alright, that's what I'm going to be doing. And then I will come back and show you what that looks like. And there we go. So we've just closed up that hole there. Now what we are left with is some dangly threads. All I'm going to do is thread those back into our pocket by using a needle and a thread. So I've just popped in the needle ready, put those threads through and just pull them into there, like that. Then trim it off. You don't need to do this, by the way, you can just trim them off if you'd rather. I'm only doing it because I'm a perfectionist. So I'm just going to do the other end now, and then we can just space out those gathers a little bit better. Make it look a bit more neat. And there, it's ready to go. There. Done. So, as you can see, it's really gathered on the one side and not on the other. So literally just feed it round to reach that other side. Like so. And there we have it. And there we have it, a beautiful conditioning cap, ready and raring to go. So your lovely locks will be nice and conditioned from now on. Now if you have enjoyed this tutorial, please do like and subscribe. That way every time I put on a new tutorial, it'll send you a notification and then it might inspire you to try something new. Thanks for watching. Bye!